Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ricky Romero. I am the founder and CEO at Inspirio. Thank you very much for joining us today. With me, I have Kathy Belletti.
Hey guys, how are you?
So today we are going to be answering any of your questions relating to how to improve your enrollment conversions, how to convert during the coronavirus impact. So any questions you have, we're definitely going to answer those. There are two ways that you can ask questions. The first way is just over the phone. And throughout the call, sometimes there's like background noise in somebody's feed, so I may mute you. So if you do want to ask a question, just make sure that you are not muted when you do ask the question. The second way you can ask questions is there's a chat feature in Zoom where you can just type in your chat, and we will review all of your chats and then answer them, as we get them. So we do have some topics we will cover just to kind of keep things going. And this really is like a moment to pick our brains. We've been in the industry for years and years, combined total of 30 years if you just add me and Kathy together alone. And we've been there and done that. And even though coronavirus is impacting what's going on now, a lot of these tips and tactics we'll be sharing with you are actually, they're virtually timeless. You can use them all the time. And so we're talking about technology today that is really amazing to help with the enrollment process, especially for people who, just won't come in for an appointment, whether you booked it and something happened or they just ghosted on you and disappeared. So anyway, let's see. We'll get started in just 1 minute. I want to have some more people join in. Kathy, did you want to say anything?
Well, one, I'm very happy to have everyone here today. We were super excited about this because the amount of time that we spend in the industry, there's so many things that have been changed and upgraded and optimized. And one of the reasons why, Ricky started Inspirio is because we felt like we can reach more and more people, each day. Like he said earlier, a lot of these is really going to help you during this impact. However, after this, these are tactics that you guys can use every single day. A lot of these tactics have been around for a while and people just never really picked up on them. So I hope that we're able to really, help a lot of you guys.
At Aveda Fredericks Institute, the guest experience is our highest priority. We invite you to visit our website at avedafi.edu to see a complete list of hair, skin, nail, and makeup services.
Okay, so I just muted everyone. That was funny. Well, I'm glad we know who that Aveda is on. All right, cool. So, today we're talking about the how to increase your conversions, especially right now. This is a very time-sensitive topic due to the coronavirus's impact. And so we just wanted to bring this to light. We have tons of ideas for you that you can implement now. And also a lot of these, or actually all of these tactics are timeless. So today we're going to be covering that. Really while we're here is we're just answering your questions. We're going to answer all of your questions. If you have any, we'll stay on as long as we need to answer and get through. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. We can even brainstorm, over the phone if you want us to look at something of yours, or if you want us to show you how to implement something or get started on a particular tactic, then we'll walk you through that too. So just an intro, we're going to get started now. My name is Ricky Romero. I am the CEO and founder of Inspirio Enterprises Incorporated. We've been in business for over a year, and I joined the business over 15 years ago. I've been in higher education for 15 years, and I worked for a school called Mildred L.E. College, located in New York. They have several campuses, including an online school. They also had a beauty school, so I'm very familiar with a lot of the different programs that you guys may have. I oversaw marketing budgets, huge marketing budgets. I was a regional director of admissions and oversaw over 30 admission representatives and 4 directors of admissions. So very familiar with all that. Also with me is Kathy Belletti.
Hello, guys. And so basically my background, I have over 15 years in B2B sales as well as admissions. I mean, I started from the very bottom as an admissions advisor, and I held multiple roles in various schools, from admissions to director of admissions to operations. And then I met Ricky at Notre Dame, where we were managing multiple schools. So, we understand the student life cycle. We understand being in admissions and being in various different positions within higher ed. So this is what brought us to, all the different tactics that we can help schools nationwide, to continue converting during this impact. So hopefully you guys are able to gain as much as you can from today's webinar.
Okay, so now is the time for you guys. We're here to talk about anything that you want to talk about, including what we covered in the webinar on Friday. And on Friday, what we covered was, let me go down real quick to this one. Here we go. We covered 11 tactics on how you can actually convert people virtually using technology and different tactics and stuff like that. So if you want to talk about any of this stuff, that's amazing. If you have other questions about how to boost enrollments, how to better your marketing, then we'll help you answer those. We can brainstorm with you, give you solutions. We can even show you on the screen how to do certain things. So hopefully you have your questions ready. And there's 2 ways to ask your question. Just, unmute yourself, and then you can ask the question right away over the voice, or there's a chat feature in this webinar presentation where you can type in your questions, okay? So we actually had this yesterday. By the way, if anybody has a question, feel free to unmute and start talking.
I actually wanted to know a little bit more about what are some of the best factors or things to use during that virtual tour or live video one-on-one to create the best conversion.
Yes, so thank you. And I believe your name is Shannon?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So Shannon, when we are talking about the live video one-on-one, pretend like you had a student come into your campus for a visit, a tour and an interview, where you have them live in front of you. The only difference, so conduct the entire thing the same exact way. The only difference is they can't walk around the campus with you. They can't shake your hand. So you kind of want to mimic a lot of that stuff. So if you have a script, and I really, really hope you do, if you have a script, you would be taking them along that script. And then if you were to walk them around your campus, so to actually do that virtually, the best way that we've done it is 2 ways. One is you have photos and videos of your campus ready in a PowerPoint. So you see how I'm sharing my screen with Zoom right now. You can see my screen. I can show you videos right now. I can replay audio sounds. I can show you screen slides like this. So you can have like a photo tour or a video showcasing your campus. The second way is you literally can bring your phone with you and walk around the campus. So those are 2 ways that you can do it. Now that's the tour, right? So let's say now you're doing the interview. You follow your script and you go through, and as they're answering questions, you're writing down notes, and you're trying to get them excited about the program, excited about what your school can offer them, and all the features and benefits that you can offer them. And then when it comes time to closing, that's where we were talking about having a sales page where you have an application online that they can fill out, or at least get the application process started. Some schools or states do not allow what is it called? Applications to be done virtually or e-signed. So, at least you can get the process started, and you want to mimic that they're filling out, that they're committing to signing up for your school. And if your state does allow you to do e-signatures and all that stuff, then have your application on there, have them sign it, have your enrollment agreement on there, have them sign it. You could even do virtual financial aid visits. And we actually had one of our campuses was the financial aid campus. And every other campus actually would Skype in with that one campus where we had our complete financial aid department, who would walk students through the FAFSA and go through their estimate and all of that stuff. So did that kind of give you an example?
Yes, and we actually only have we have 2 campuses that have financial aid, so we already do the Skyping thing with financial aid, so that's already set up. But yeah, that the tour kind of interview was where I was really asking the question, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, Kathy, did you have anything to add to that?
Yes, we actually just finished training a campus a couple of days on just this. The most important thing, one, you want to have something set up like Zoom, which is what we're on right now, because you can share the video. But second, you want to make sure that you have an interview presentation so that, there's no break between it feeling like they're in person with you. And the interview presentation, you want to make sure that it's set up in a certain order, the same way you would as an in-person, where you talk about the history of your school, accreditations, program breakdown. You want to make sure that you also have a profile sheet. So that profile sheet is where you break in your virtual interview and you ask a series of questions about the prospect as far as inspiration, what they're doing now, their why now, then you have a recommendation. But when it comes to the tour, you can have a bunch of pictures attached, or you can actually have a video that you click on. Testimonials is also great when it comes to the one-on-one video, because you also want to still showcase, your graduates or current students that's in the school. But then when it comes to next steps, it would be good if you have like a financial aid person that can jump in and then go over that portion. And like Ricky was saying, if you can send documents like through the mail, or if they can DocuSign, that would be the best way also to make sure that they get that part handled. Because a lot of prospects, they don't move forward because they don't understand financial aid. Regardless of everything that you've covered, a lot of them, they're lacking the knowledge when it comes to what is a FAFSA and how do I even do this? So when it comes to the one-on-one, the Zoom platform is the best because you can share, you can interact, and most important, they can have anybody join with them too. So that's an opportunity for a referral or for their support system to actually jump on video as well. Did that make sense?
It did, totally. Thank you so much. Actually, that brought up another question. The testimonials, the video testimonials.
Yep.
Can we also use that on like our website? Could we use the ones that are on our website, or should we have new ones just for this?
Absolutely. You can do either. You can either use the ones on your website, or you can actually add additional ones, because most of the time students already been to your website, so they probably already watched it already. So to have additional testimonials prepared, that would actually, add social proof when it comes to you and your one-on-one live video. So
Awesome.
it could be either or.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, and Shannon, that was actually a really good question, because like Kathy was saying, you want everything to be streamlined and feel like everything transitions well. So if you are planning to do live interviewing, like using Zoom or Skype or whatever, then I would definitely have all of that stuff kind of ready to go. So your advisor can just kind of click, okay, here's the interview presentation, click, here's the tour, click, here's the testimonials. Just have it all like lined out.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much. I've written it all down. So it's
Awesome. Yeah. So I wanted to show everyone real quick. Now we're not affiliated with Zoom. I just love using the platform because for 2 reasons. It's very easy to use. It's becoming more and more popular, and it's very affordable. There are other platforms. Skype is great. Google Hangouts is great and free. And I think Skype is at certain points too. There's also GoToMeeting if you're doing more like group settings. But just as an example, Zoom, there is a free account. You can host up to 100 participants, and the account that I have is $14.99 a month. It's very affordable. I mean, it's nominal as compared to how many students you can actually help through the process. Okay, so if anybody has joined us recently, we are answering any questions as pertaining to marketing and admissions, especially during this time with the coronavirus impacting how we can get people, prospects through the conversion process. Okay, so if anybody has any other questions, please shout them out or chat in the live chat. Okay, so I just got a question on live chat that says, what should I talk about during a Facebook Live? That's a really good question. Facebook Lives are so fun, and they actually benefit you in a couple ways. So let me talk about that real quick. So when you're doing a Facebook Live, and if you feel uncomfortable on camera, then I totally get it. Part of the reason why I'm not sharing my face right now is because of that like fear I have. But anyway, when it's so awesome though. Like, so let's say you're having an open house, a virtual open house. You know, we're having a coronavirus, no touch free open house, and we're doing that on Facebook Live tomorrow at 12 o'clock or something like that, right? So you send an email, you send a text blast, you phone call all of your prospects, and you get them involved. You post it on social media channels, on your website, and now you got this Facebook Live, right? And it's an open house. I would have at minimum 2 people, one person holding the camera and one person speaking. And the person speaking, have them walk around your campus. I mean, your campus is like the thing that really, really seals the deal when prospects come in for an appointment. The campuses always help so much. So walk around the campus and meet with different department heads, like your financial aid team, your career services team, your student services, meet the dean, meet the president, whatever, and just walk around, showcase some of the rooms and the computer labs and whatever you got. And if you have any students that, you know, you're comfortable having them talk for just a moment, you know, ask them. If you have a student ambassador program where you have students who can speak on behalf of the school, like, stop by them real quick, stop by the break room and just have a quick chat. Ask them, you know, why they chose the school, why they love the school, who's their favorite teacher. Anything to give a window into your school on Facebook Live is great. Now, how does Facebook Live benefit you? Well, for 2 reasons. Everyone's on Facebook, and I'm you know, being a little, I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but it is almost true that everyone's on Facebook. And the second thing is, when you go live on Facebook, it actually triggers an announcement to anybody on Facebook that, hey, this person in your area just went live. And then it showcases like your one little post. So sometimes you actually get indirect traffic to watch your open house. So that's one way you could do it. You can also leave chat open on the Facebook Live and have people ask you questions, just like we're doing now. But you know, you don't have to walk around the campus. You can be static, and you can just have, you know, a guest or 2 come in, and it doesn't even have to be your staff. It could be one employer that, you know, really loves your school and loves hiring your graduates, or a professional in the field who can really speak on the program that you're offering. Hopefully that answered that question. Any other questions?
One more thing with Facebook Live, Ricky, another great way to use it is during your orientation. When I was actually on campus, that was one thing that we did all the time, because it goes back to social proof. Students are seeing other students actually live at orientation. They're getting their uniforms, their textbooks, there's events going on. Gather a bunch of students and let them talk about how excited they are to start school. The community will start to, you know, pick up on this Facebook Live, and then all of a sudden you realize that your phones start ringing off the hook, because they're feeding off of the energy that your students who are about to start school in the next week or 2 are giving off. And so orientation is one of the best ways to utilize Facebook Live as well.
Thank you, Kathy. So if anybody has a question, just unmute your sound or your microphone and ask away, or you can chat in the chat bar.
This is Shannon again. I have another question in regards to webinar and how that would be best utilized like, would it be for, I just want to feel how that would be best utilized for admissions. I can't quite wrap my head around the best way to use that.
Okay, so for webinars, have you ever, you don't have to answer this, Shannon, but have you ever had an information session where you bring in a whole group of people to learn about your program or your school? Maybe you had a visit from some organization that brought in a whole bunch of high school students, or I don't know, something like that. Webinars are great for sharing free information about a particular topic. And when we did our webinar on Friday, we were talking about that particular topic and giving it out for free. And it's really just to get people to, and I'll tell you why we did it. First, because we care about all the schools that we work with, and we wanted to get this information out there as soon as possible. But we also did it for branding the company Inspirio. So I'm going to shamelessly tell you that. We did that so that you guys can see that we know what we're talking about, and that we, if you want to hire us, can you know that you can trust that we'll help you out. So it's the same thing with your school. You're going to tell them about the program you offer, but not just the program, but like, what are the career benefits? What are some of the great places that they can work, and some of the great skills that they'll have, and the great benefits of you know, employment in the medical field, and it's like a recession-proof job and all that kind of stuff. That's where you can really get into those kinds of details and invite a whole mass amount of people. Now, some topics may not be they may not be a good enough hook. So sometimes you want to talk about things that don't necessarily talk about the program itself or your school itself, but something that's really closely related. So for example, you may say, okay, my prospects typically have financial issues. You know, they don't make a lot of money. So I'm going to do a financing webinar on how to cut expenses and do a budget and save money at the grocery store and blah, 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 and all these kinds of things. So it's a roundabout way to get your target audience to you to talk about a topic, and bring in guests as well, you know, people on your team, or bring in guests from the community to speak on those topics. Now you got your audience in front of you, and at the end and throughout the webinar, you're talking about your school just a little bit. And at the end, you definitely want to have a call to action. So the webinar is more of a big platform to talk about a big topic. I always suggest having chat open unless you really need to get through the material and you don't want to you know, clog it up with chats. But so Kathy, did you have anything to add?
Yes, career services is another main group that you want to include in a webinar, because you have two main reasons, well, two main concerns that prospects always have. One, am I going to be able to finance my education? Two, am I going to be able to find work? Are you guys going to assist me, you know, when it comes to preparing me for the field of choice? So when it comes to webinars besides financial aid, I would do one that's focused around career services to showcase maybe some of the agencies that you guys actually partner with, or how your career services actually assist students in finding work, whether it's workshops, and then you have, like, you know, a mock workshop that you do right there. That way the students, again, to see the resources up front and personal, or you talk about resume preparation and showcase some of your grads and where they're working now. So those are always the main two topics that people are always concerned about: financing the education, and are you guys going to assist me with finding placements? So you can utilize that in that way to draw a huge crowd, because that will, you know, interest a lot of people.
Yeah, and if you have a program that actually is very high in demand, and you get a lot of prospects that maybe they don't qualify for that particular program, for example, practical nursing. You know, you have to be qualified for it. You have to meet certain requirements, and a lot of people want it. So let's say you're in a town that has a lot of people and they all want this program, but half of them qualify. You can do a webinar to actually filter them out. You can ask certain questions at certain points of the webinar, and anybody who doesn't meet that qualification, oh, great, no problem. We have this other program you should really check out. We have another webinar talking about that. Why don't you join that? For the rest of you, here's our application process for the next steps. Here's how you have to qualify. You need to bring in these documents, or you need to send us these documents. And by the way, this is where you get to your sales page. Send them to your sales page so that they can complete that process. And webinars are also great for on-campus things like for your student retention and alumni events and things like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have a question? Do not be shy. No question is dumb. We've been in this forever. We've been where some people, some newbies have been, definitely, and we have also done some really cool things. If you want to ask what should I be saying right now to my prospects? Kathy, you had a really great suggestion yesterday.
Well, when it comes to healthcare schools, especially with this impact that's going on, we've dealt with a lot of students who are kind of freaking out, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, well, why shouldn't I wait until months later?" And if you have a healthcare program, the best thing to use is the fact that if you're in this because you're looking to help more people to change lives, now is the best time to get in and get your training. And think about it, healthcare schools being the fact that it's online, that it's hands-on training, they're going to be the most sterilized, places to be, because you're actually going to be performing these different duties while you're in class. And that's one thing that a lot of healthcare programs always include. Even some of the beauty programs, it's all about sterilization, so you want to make sure that you are getting across to them that you're going to be safe in this environment. And another question that we got yesterday that was really good was, what types of messages do you feel works the best when you're not in person? One thing that we've been utilizing a lot is video text messaging, because nowadays a lot of people just don't have time. They're at work. A lot of people don't answer their phones or check their emails. But when you're sending a video text, it's much more personal, and it's kind of like you're putting a face to the name. We've been doing this so many times with different prospects, and we've been realizing that we've been getting a lot more responses from prospects because of video text messaging. As you all know, a lot of times you'll be calling someone probably 2 to 3 times, never get an answer. As soon as you send them a text message, all of a sudden you get a response in 2 to 3 seconds. And you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, I've been calling you forever, but you respond to a text right away. But now when they open the text message and they see a face, it says that you're not just someone that works for a school, but you're an actual person. And it also, makes them feel more comforting, seeing that this is an actual person that's concerned about my well-being. So there's a lot of different tactics that you can use, but those two we've been getting a lot of questions on.
I just got a chat question, Kathy, and it says, if due to, I'm going to paraphrase, due to the coronavirus, we're uncertain about our start dates. How do you keep people engaged during this time?
So for proof, you want to make sure that anything that's been going on at your school, you just want to make sure that you're always in front of the prospect. So this is the best time to showcase any events that you've had in the past. Like we have a school in Long Island. They just had a huge alumni event in December, and we're still promoting that for them, because when it comes to your social media, a lot of your engagement comes from events that took place at your school. You know, a lot of times you can just let them know that we do have upcoming class starts, but you want to make sure that you're keeping them engaged the entire time. So little reminders, whether it's through text or email, or even when it comes to social media. A lot of prospects respond to direct messaging nowadays on Instagram and Facebook. There's no problem with that. But you can start sending them like little excerpts of, okay, this is what we do at this school. This is how we honor our graduates and our alumni. This is an event that happened last week. This could be you when you start school. So, you know, little tag bits all the time of sending them different messaging so that they understand, okay, even though this is going on at this point in time, I'm super excited to get started when everything blows over. So you just want to make sure that they understand that, you know, it is about getting you to your career goals, but at the same time, you know, we have fun here. We care about the students. There's a lot that goes on here. And then you could also send them like financial aid updates. You know, start your FAFSA now. If you need assistance, we can help you, so that you're always in communication with the prospect. And there's a reason for them to reach out to you up until your class actually starts.
Thank you, Kathy. So we have another question that came in, and Kathy, I'll answer this one. How much time is needed to promote a successful webinar? Great question. So really, you need as little as 1 week to promote it. I mean, you really could, like the webinar we did on Friday, we promoted it in 2 days, and we had over 70 people join in. So it depends on how big your list is and how urgent and how much of a hook your webinar is, right? So, I mean, I wouldn't promote it any further than 2 weeks though, because after 2 weeks, that's just a little bit way too long. And webinars are easier to do. You know, you don't have to drive over to the campus or anything like that. So it's a little bit easier. So you kind of need at least a week to really, really hone in on a webinar. I'm going to show you something real quick that it's called the 14-day countdown campaign. And what countdown campaigns do is it adds a lot of urgency. You all know that urgency helps, right, with marketing. So it adds a ton of urgency and a lot of reminders. So that top of mind awareness is there. And this isn't to answer the webinar question. This is more for like if you have a big open house or your enrollment, you have an enrollment deadline, or you have a really big event like an instant admissions event or something, you know, that you can do that's compliant, obviously, that you can get the word out. And I'm just going to take you through this because maybe it will answer your webinar thing. 14 days out, you want to hype your event, hype it up, share it. And then you want to solve their pain. So you want to do messaging that on social media that solves their pain. And then you want to give expectations of what they can see on that. Then you want to do FAQs, answer any popular questions they may have. And then you want to, 1 week out, you start doing these countdowns like 5 days left, 4 days left, 72 hours left, 48 hours left, and so on. So hopefully this kind of gives you an idea of how you can coordinate countdown campaigns. And to promote a webinar, I would definitely do email blast, text blast, social media and website posting. If you have an event, local event calendars like your newspaper and Eventbrite and things like that, I would definitely showcase those. And then I would have your admissions advisors calling prospects, at minimum, the newest prospects. Kathy, did you have anything to add?
Nope, but I do have, if anyone has any questions like about, you know, admissions processes, scripts, you know, follow up, what types of messagings work best, you know, to get prospects to respond, especially in this type of situation, please feel free to ask. We had tons of those questions yesterday. So don't be afraid or shy to ask anything about admissions policies or processes or messaging that work best to really get people to respond.
So while we're waiting for the next question, I want to show you guys something that works really well. When you're doing your outreach, you want to have things that grab people's attention, a good hook, something that's funny. And when we do texting, I want to show you some examples of the texts we do. So here's one. Here's a text you would send for somebody who missed their appointment. Where were you? I missed you at yesterday's appointment. Ready to reschedule? It's really disruptive. You know, it like kind of jumps out and smacks you in the face and gives you a little chuckle. And all of that builds rapport. Like your goal is to build rapport with your prospect, every single one of them. And you can automate this too, by the way. You can insert this into an automation to send it out. Here's another text. Sometimes life is hard. I know life can be difficult. When would you like to come in to change your life? This is before you even have talked to them. Here's another one. Did I miss it? It's not too late to get started on the next term. Enrollment is ending soon. When are you free for a call? So that's for somebody who may have applied and canceled, or maybe they came in for an appointment, but they didn't enroll yet. Do one more. Life, me. I feel that way sometimes. Sometimes life seems against you, but I'm not. I'm here to help achieve your career goals. When do you want to visit? Always ask a question at the end. It gets them to respond more. Don't just say, hey, we have an event, bye-bye. You want to say, are you coming? Question mark. Be silent. Let them answer. And the last one I'm going to show you. Really? Did you really miss your appointment? So you kind of make them feel guilty, but you don't. You know, it's just funny. You're always there to help them. All right. Sorry, that was my fun time. Anybody have any other questions? If you have a question, there's a chat pane, and there's also just unmute your microphone and ask away.
Another thing that works really well are collages, you know, because it paints the picture. And we use this a lot when we're training admissions teams, because you can create a collage where, you know, the first picture on the left is their current situation, and then the second one is where they actually want to be. A lot of prospects respond to these types of messaging because you can actually see what's going on. Like, for instance, you have someone who's working at Target and they're explaining to you on the phone, they hate their job, they hate their boss, they hate the customers. You know, they do like working with people, but at the same time, they have a degree and this is not where they saw themselves. So you can pull up a picture on Google of a depressed worker, you know, at Target, and you create a collage where the second page could be like a massage owner, you know, a massage clinic owner, or someone working in healthcare. And so basically you always cater it to what the student wants to do. And when you send that message through, you know, it automatically paints a picture. They're going to automatically see, okay, this is where I am, which is where I don't want to be, but this is where I am actually trying to head. And those types of messaging is really what gets prospects to respond, because you're actually, you know, making it very raw when it comes to, this is your situation, this is where you want to be, I can help you get there. So collages and those type of, you know, gifts and memes, they work the best. And a lot of schools are not utilizing these tactics at all. It's never too late.
Let's see. Should I start calling out names? Put you on the spot. Caitlin Walzer, do you have any questions? If you do, chat away. We want to hear your voice, but you can type.
I'm loving all this information. Thank you guys so much for doing this. I do not have any questions at this time.
Okay. Awesome. Hey, it worked. I'm going to call more people out. AFR. I hope that's not an acronym for a bad name. AFR, do you have any questions? Frank, have any questions? Let's see. Is this?
I think I heard someone say something just now.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question on chat. Oh, this is a good one for you, Kathy. Okay. How much information should I actually give away since it's not an in-person interview?
Everything. You are going to give away the same amount of information that you would give away if it's an in-person interview. Because remember, this is the alternative based on what's going on right now. So you want to make sure that you are conducting your interviews the same way that you would conduct them if this was an in-person interview. So, you know, a lot of times when we're using admission scripts, you know, we tell them limit the information on your admission script and make it all about the prospects, because the point of the first call is to set an appointment. In this case, it does not apply. If you're using live video, phone calls, or live chats in order to walk somebody through the interview process, you have to conduct it just like they're sitting in front of you, because they can't. So like I was saying before, you always want to make sure that you have some type of agenda and interview presentation, and you walk them through the entire process. You want to touch on financial aid, career services, all the other staff in the building that's detrimental to their success. And you give everything away, and you take them back towards that sales page so that they can either fill out the application, or you can send the information in the mail so that they can fill out their enrollment agreements, or if they're allowed to DocuSign. You want to make sure that you're able to go through that entire process and have the student enrolled right there with you, whether you are live, phone call, testing, live chat, it doesn't matter. So you give everything away, and you want to make sure that they understand all the information before you hang up that call. Because if they don't understand, you would never hear from that prospect again.
Thank you, Kathy. Does anybody have any other questions? Let's see. Pam, do you have any questions today? Anything relating to admissions or marketing, or your website, or your Facebook page? Let's see. Victor, we got a question, a great question from Victor earlier. Anything else? Okay, I got a question here. Let me see. I know you should always try to do the virtual tour in the moment, but if that is not possible, do you still want to set an appointment for the live interview and tour? Then how do you feel about video confirmations for the tour? Kathy, you want to do that one?
Well, when it comes to the live interview, yes, you're always going to set the appointment. A lot of schools that we work with, we use the live video anyway, because if prospects cannot come into an interview between 24 to 48 hours, then the next option is a virtual tour. So you want to make sure that you are setting those confirmations, and you can easily confirm that view through a virtual tour also. But the best thing for confirmation is to send them a text message or call them directly, because you want to make sure that one, they were able to download the platform that you're actually using, and two, is there anyone that they want to join along with you for this tour? Because you can easily get two students out of one. We all know that personal developed leads convert at the highest, you know, so there's a lot of different tactics that you can use. But absolutely, you can definitely set appointments for that. Just have to make sure that they have the software that they need, or they have the link, or they were able to get in, because you want to make sure that they are able to see your screen and what you're talking about, so that you can walk them through the process.
Great answer, Kathy. I don't have anything to add to that. Anybody else have any questions? Lynette and Megan, do you have any questions? You're on the spot now.
I don't. I'm good on my end. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad you're not sleeping.
No, not sleeping.
Oh, so one of the questions we had yesterday was, oh, I'm sorry. Who was somebody want to chime in?
No, Megan said she didn't have any questions. It's okay, Megan.
Okay, we got another question here. For those of us that have our next week events canceled, yeah, that's definitely a shame. But let's see, it continues on. What would be the best plan of attack to keep students engaged? Now, when you say students, do you mean applicants or current students? Applicants. Okay, great. So Kathy, everything let's pretend that your campus is closed and, you're not starting classes. What do you do to keep these applicants engaged, including texting and Facebook chat, email, phone calls, webinars, etc.?
Well, you want to make sure that you give them, little reminders of when school is going to be open again. Also, this is a perfect opportunity for prospects who have not submitted all their documentation to start school, that they can scan that information over to you. Because a lot of times, week 1 or 2 leading up to the class start, there's still a lot of outstanding documentation that students still haven't, submitted. So that's an opportunity for them to, get those documents needed and get them over to you guys. Also, if you're a school where your students wear scrubs, that's a perfect opportunity to send them like little reminders, send them, testimonials or events that have gone on at your school before, just to keep them excited. And when it comes to, this is a perfect time for a webinar also, or Facebook Live. But when it comes to the webinar, this is an opportunity for you to create a webinar on a certain subject, or a webinar that's saying, all right, so this is, what your first week is going to look like, and invite the entire list of students that's actually going to be starting school or was supposed to start school the next week, so that they don't feel left out. They don't feel as if, okay, this is never going to happen, but it's kind of like they started school, because they're actually going to be in a webinar with everyone in the class that was supposed to start with them. So they feel as if they were able to get their foot in the door and at least start something. So you want to make sure that you have a topic together. Students who have outstanding documentation for financial aid, we can do a walkthrough, or you can even put together like a mock, we call it first day agenda, where you're walking your students through what the first day of class would look like. Or if you know that everyone was going to be in a specific class, put together a mini lesson, so that they feel like they're getting something. They're getting some type of information, even though they weren't able to start school. So this is the time to actually be creative and make sure that your students are engaged. So get them involved and run these live chats and run these webinars, so that they still feel as if you didn't forget about them because of what's going on. We're still going to try to get you as much information as possible, or we're going to do like a mock lesson, so you feel as if you did start school. So many things that you can do to keep them engaged.
Yeah, those are really great answers, Kathy. I just have one more thing to add to that. I've never done this before, but I think it would possibly work, is having a Facebook group created just for applicants, so that they can kind of mingle amongst themselves. And it really does create a community, and it kind of seals in that bond with your school, and there's a lot of pride and, oh my gosh, I'm not alone, that kind of stuff. Because in this moment, the application moment is the most crucial. They are the most afraid, because they're not sure if they're going to do well. Maybe they've been out of school for a long time and they've forgot how to study, for example. Maybe they think they're going to be surrounded by kids and they're like older. There's a lot of, maybe they don't have good support, or their transportation sucks, or they have childcare issues, or their schedule sucks. I mean, this is a really there's a lot going on in their mind, and there could be buyer's remorse that actually affects them canceling or just disappearing. So a lot of excitement, a lot of pride things, and things to help them bond with you and your school will definitely help out. There's something I want to bring up right now, and it's kind of like a marketing insider secret. So everyone on here, thank you for joining, because I'm going to share with you the secret. This time right now is actually a very good time for you to get your name out there and have your team firing on all cylinders to contact more of your prospects and applicants. And there's two reasons why. Reason number one, more businesses are pulling back on their advertising. That means when you advertise, your advertisements are in front of more people because there's less noise out there. There's less ads. Direct mail actually is starting to work now because there's less businesses doing direct mail because they think that it's not working. But as a matter of fact, if I go to my mailbox, I rarely get junk mail anymore, not like I used to. And so if a postcard comes from a school, I'm going to notice it, or a letter. So this is not the time to pull back in advertising. This is actually the time to double down. I mean, you really could get your message out there right now. And now here's reason number two. Everyone's staying home. They're not going to the grocery store as often as they used to. They're not going to the bar. They're not going to whatever, activities. If they work in a big complex, maybe they're asking employees to work from home. Everyone's at home now. They're accessible like they've never been before. So this is not the time to have your admissions team twiddle their thumbs. It's the time to have them really hit the phone and get in contact with more and more prospects. I don't mean to, take advantage or be unethical in this time, because it really is a unfortunate time. But to be honest with you, you have a clear, distinct advantage. So I would take advantage of it now. All right, I'm getting off my soapbox. Anybody have any questions? Comments?
I have one more question, if possible. It's real easy. Is there any time that we should send, or is it a good idea to even send a pre-recorded virtual tour?
Shannon, that is a brilliant question and a very good strategy to do that. Just so you know, the webinar that we did on Friday, and I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but I will, because we're all friends. The webinar we did on Friday was pre-recorded. We recorded it earlier that morning and played it as if it was live. We made it feel like it was live, and although we didn't answer questions on the spot, because that would have made it not look live, we gave the appearance of it being a personal activity for you guys. So we actually have there's a strategy out there where you put like a lead form to get access to a personal tour of the campus or something like that. And then when they get access to it, they go to this webinar that feels like it's live. Webinar starts in 15 seconds. There's this little countdown. And 15 seconds later, it starts. And it says, hey, this is Ricky from Inspirio Institute, and I'm here to show you our campus. Thank you so much for joining us right now. We have a lot of people interested in this, so hopefully I can help you guys out. And so we're going to start in admissions, or we're going to start in financial aid, and I'm going to walk you around, blah, blah, blah. So you can actually have that. It's called an on-demand webinar, and you can have that, set up on your website. That's a really great question.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Kathy, do you have any admissions insider secrets that you want to share? Or are you keeping all those close to the chest?
I like to keep my secrets close to my chest.
Oh, come on now.
There's one thing when it comes to admissions, especially communicating with brand new leads, that I love to share. And it's a really quick trick, and it all has to do with calling a brand new lead 2 times. One thing that admissions advisors are always nervous about is calling prospects. I know it seems ironic because your job is to communicate with people, but a lot of it has to do with fear of, okay, what are they going to do? Are they going to yell at me? Are they going to ask me how did I get their information? Are they going to hang up? Are they going to tell me that they're not interested? But a lot of times, you have to make sure that when you receive a brand new lead, you call it twice. The science behind that is most of us do not pick up the phone if we don't recognize the number. But then what happens if that same number comes through a second time? All of a sudden, curiosity takes over, and now you start thinking that a friend or a family member is trying to reach you from a different number. 95% of the time, they pick up. Remember, a lot of people don't answer phone calls. They don't respond to voicemails because they don't check them. I personally don't. A lot of people don't answer emails nowadays, but when it comes to your brand new leads, remember these prospects, they're online and they're researching multiple schools. The early bird gets the worm. So you can't say, okay, well, they didn't answer, so next I'm going to send a text message. No, call that lead twice, back to back. But the trick is you're not going to leave a voicemail the first time. You're going to leave a voicemail the second time. And then the voicemail is going to be very direct and straight to the point. And you're just going to be asking them, letting them know that you understand that they requested information. When is a good time for us to talk today so I can get you the answers that you need? One mistake is always assuming that a prospect is calling because they want to start school. No, your prospects are calling because they're looking for information. When you get into your script, this is when you really start to peel back the onion and ask them additional questions about their inspirations and why they want to do this. But it's all about getting answers. So you want to make sure that your voicemails are saying just that and nothing more. And then you send a text message afterwards. So now they see a call come through twice, a voice message and a text message. Now they're going to say, okay, I need to get back to this person. And keep in mind, they just requested information from your school anyway. So you're never contacting prospects too much, especially when it comes to the first 14 days. I hope you guys use these tactics because they definitely work in a lot of the schools that we work with. And people are seeing some crazy conversions when it comes to brand new leads, as well as older leads too.
Yeah, thank you for that tip, Kathy. So we're going to stay on for, I mean, unless people have really a lot more questions, we'll stay on, but we'll probably, close it down in 5 minutes. Like I said, if there's a big question and we stay on longer, that's totally fine with us. We've made ourselves available. But if anybody has any last minute questions, please ask them now. Chat away, unmute yourself, talk. Do you just want to share an observation or a tip with us? Maybe we said something wrong or out of compliance and you want to, hold us under the fire. I'm okay with that. I want to keep learning. Did you guys like my dabbing leprechaun? He's so cool. Reminds me of my kids. So, Kathy, do you have any last minute words for the folks?
No, it's just very important for everyone to really follow procedures and stay safe out there. And remember, there's always a way to keep your students engaged during these times. These times more than ever, it's a good way to use all the tactics that we told you guys about, especially when it comes to virtual interviews. That's going to help you a lot. And even after this has passed, these are tactics that you guys can use every single day to keep your students engaged, even if they can't come into an in-person interview when schools open back up. This is the best way for you to gain that extra percentage of students who cannot come to your school between 24 to 48 hours. Utilize these virtual interviews so that you can still keep your classes moving along.
Thank you. And if you guys think you need help or you just want to ask more questions more privately, we'd be happy to hop on. No obligation. Just go to Inspirio.com/conversion. There's a very simple form there. Fill out the information. Tell us what kind of information you're looking to learn more about, and then we can hop on a call with you. We've been doing this forever. Well, it feels like that, but we've been doing this for 30 years combined between Kathy and I, and we are helping schools across the nation, actually some now across the world, and helping them improve their conversions. So yeah, just go to Inspirio.com/conversion. Yes, I will definitely add you to the mailing list. If anybody has any other questions. And if anybody has a website they would like to have me look at, I'm an expert at conversion websites where it does the work of generating leads for you. So I can look at your website and give you advice on what maybe is missing from it. And I'll be nice. Promise. I was just doing it yesterday, and they actually had a very beautiful site, but there's things that you really need to have on there to get more leads from your site. And one of them, live chat. Even if you don't have somebody to man it live 24/7, that's not a problem. It's a very good way to get 2 to 5% more leads organically from your website than you typically would. Install live chat. It's so cheap. It's easy.
Super easy.
All right. Well, I think we'll close it down now. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Again, this is Ricky and Kathy from Inspirio, and we hope that this was very helpful for you. Send us an email or go to Inspirio.com/conversion if you want to learn a little bit more about us or how we may be able to help you. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.